Hello and namaste to everyone. Today in our office we have Dr. Sandeep Sahasrabudhe. Namaste Dr. Sandeep.
Thank you.
So welcome on board Sandeep.
Thank you, Sushant.
Dr. Sandeep Sahasrabudhe is a multifaceted personality with a very extensive experience in finance, in real estate and in hospitality. He serves as a managing director at Moneywise Wealth Planners in Pune and Mumbai, and they also have very comprehensive financial and wealth management solutions. Under his leadership, his firm manages approximately 150 crore plus investments for more than 500 customers. So in today's podcast, we will be discussing around his experiences because he has been teaching around financial literacy. We'll talk a little bit about entrepreneurship. We will talk about what's the current situation in the market, right? And how DhanXpert can help India and the Indian financial advisory system democratize the way current financial investment works, right? So here we go. First question for you, Sandeep ji, right? So let's talk about importance of financial literacy. That's the very first question, right? Because that's what I see is something really missing in India, right?
So as of now, as per statistics, there is one organization, Center for Financial Education. According to them, as of today, 27% Indian adults 18 and above are financially literate.
Only 27%.
Only 27%. So the percentage is pretty less compared to developed economies like Japan, Europe, US.
And I think this must be purely the millennials and Gen Zs typically,
Yes.
because they are more device and net savvy, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Otherwise,
Though it is picking up through the initiatives of Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, as well as SEBI. So they are doing many financial literacy awareness programs. We call them IAPs, Investor Awareness Programs, and I am personally have been part of this IAP since 2015.
so a related question to it, right? So how do you define what is financial literacy, right? And why it is critical for every individual regardless of the income level?
So financially literate person is a person who is well versed with basic terminologies relating to finance and investing. So there are norms like budgeting. What is budgeting? What is savings? What is investment? What are loans? What are the financial scams that take place? What is known by a Ponzi scheme? So all these terminologies, if a person is well versed, it will help him to save money and grow his money, because two things are important in life. One is earning money, which everyone is doing.
Yeah.
But it is it is more important rather than how much money you have earned, how much you are growing that money, at what pace you are growing that money. So one is wealth preservation and second is wealth acceleration. At the same time, you are safeguarding your money from any kind of thing through which the wealth can be eroded.
So a related question, right? If you are not, or if one person is not financially literate or aware or well versed with it, what are the common mistakes people do?
Common mistakes typically people do is they go on the basis of tips. For example, we have so many different asset classes. Typically, asset classes we segregate between physical assets, like we have real estate and gold, and then we have financial assets, the stock market. We have digital assets like cryptocurrencies. So based on hearsay advice, based on tips, without studying in depth, people blindly invest in things, and people are trying to chase anything which is giving fast money. Now, for example, if we have, let's say, as of now, if you look at the Indian population, maybe we are 145 crore kind of population.
Exactly, yeah.
Out of which we have hardly 6% population, which could be about 12 to 15 crore, who have invested in the stock market, which is a pretty small figure. We were talking earlier, we were discussing about the demat accounts, which is about 18 crore
18.5 crores
18.5 crore demat
as of
accounts.
December last year. Yeah.
However, many people have multiple demat accounts.
Yeah,
so
that's
the
true.
real number could be much
Very
lesser
true. Very true.
in terms of the people who have, in the
Absolutely,
quantity of the
absolutely.
people, the quantum of people. So what is happening is people are trying to chase fast money, and then they are losing their entire capital. So for example, the alarming facts are, compared to let's say 15 crore Indians who are invested in the stock market, we are having close to 20 crore people who are invested in cryptocurrencies. Then there are people more than 20 crore who have invested in fast games, which is online games. Rummy,
very risky,
poker,
very risky, very risky.
and different websites, different apps are there through which they are chasing and wanting to generate fast money. So in the pursuit of earning fast money, the biggest risk is default risk or credit risk, where the entire principal is exposed and you can lose the entire money. Entire amount invested can be lost.
So एक ना आम समझ है लोगों में कि बस financial planning, the word financial planning is only for the wealthy people, right? But we know that's not the fact, right? So how would you explain the importance of financial planning to someone who is just starting out with a modest income?
Financial planning can be implemented from the very first salary. And financial planning essentially is where you are and where you want to reach.
Exactly, the goal.
The goals. So financial goals we segregate into short-term, medium-term, long-term goals. Short-term goals could be a vacation. Short-term goal could be to, in a year or two, to buy a vehicle. That could also be school fees are short-term goals. A local trip could be a short-term goal. Medium-term goals typically are buying vehicles, buying a house, and the end goal, the retirement goal or education of children, these are long-term goals.
Exactly.
So in financial planning, what people are actually doing is people are chasing wealth management. Wealth management is a totally different terminology. Wealth management is where to invest. So if you want, let's say I'll give you an easy example. Let's say you want to go from Pune to Mumbai. Now Pune to Mumbai is financial planning. Where you are Pune, where you want to reach Mumbai. That is the goal. Wealth management is basically which asset class to choose. Now from Pune to Mumbai you can go by car also. You can self-drive, you can have a driver, you can go by train, you can go by bus. So these are the different routes, and these different routes are basically wealth management. So in our journey of life, whether to invest in debt market, whether to invest in equity market, whether to invest in real estate, whether to invest in cryptos, where to invest is basically wealth management. So what essentially you should be doing is first you do financial planning and later on you do wealth management.
Understood. So again, I recollect those two phrases in English. One is a bird in the hand, what's two in the bush. अपने हाथ में जो है पहले उसको संभालो, right? फिर दूसरा देखो. And second is when you are talking about wealth management and financial planning, right? Never put all the eggs in one basket.
Yes.
Right? You have to hedge your risks and split it. Right? So what are the fundamental principles that every person should follow, no matter what their background is? When
First
we say about this
that you should be doing, Sushantji, anyone, is change the formula. This formula you must have heard, income minus expenditure is equal to savings. You change the formula. Income minus savings is the money available for expenditure. By doing that, you automatically cut down on the amount available for expenses. Right. For example, in India, it is believed that the savings ratio is about 30%. So, if you are earning a lakh rupees, if you are saving 30,000 out of it, it is a good percentage. But especially amongst the youth, this is not happening. Yeah. Because youth is ye jawani hai diwani, so they want to enjoy life to the fullest.
Very true.
The needs and the aspirations are much more than the income, because at a young age the salary would be lower, or there are, even if you are in business and it's a startup, obviously income is not that to that extent, to the aspirations that kind of are there. So eventually, even because I'm a restaurateur also, we realize that end of the month our sales are always going up, because salary 30-31 तारीख को salary होती है.
Exactly.
या first week में salary
most of the tech
होती है.
companies deliver the salary on the
20th to 25th there are literally people are left dry. Then there's no money in the bank account, and so that time the sales drop because spending drops. That is what is happening. So you should target saving a decent amount of money, and one is saving, and the more important thing is investing that money. Just money lying idle in the saving account is not going to be of use.
Exactly. That's not going to beat the inflation at all. fixed deposits will secure, but not beating the inflation. You
Yes.
you must have fixed deposits, but you need a lot more. That should be a percentage of your.
So what is actually essentially happening is people are not saving anything before the age of 30. Saving ही
That's
नहीं
the
होगा
big-
तो investment कहाँ से
compounding कब होगा?
हाँ.
You're losing on the earliest part of compounding.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
The
what's
earlier you
happening.
start, right? I'll not name my friend. This guy is based out of London now. He started investing at the age of 21.
Wow.
Okay, and but like 5 साल पहले हम बात कर रहे थे about 5 years ago, and he was a very good करोड़पति. Okay, मतलब रिटायरमेंट ले सकता था. So फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम है और फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी होने की वजह से फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम है. So maybe talk a little bit about difference between financial literacy and financial freedom. What is financial freedom?
Prior to that, the earlier question I'll just complete. The most important thing from which you should stay away from is the herd mentality. Herd mentality is what others are doing. So someone starts investing in some fancy product, you also want to invest there.
Right.
Or everyone is trying to catch a bus because others have boarded that bus. So, and while doing that, there are too many materialistic products which you are chasing. And every now and then we are flooded with so many things in media, on Insta, on newspapers, that every now and then there will be a temptation to break your mutual fund SIP or your stock SIP.
Exactly.
Pull out that money and use that for some materialistic thing. Could be a vehicle, could be a TV, could be some gadget, or could be a foreign trip. So there you should stay away from these
Control
things.
your emotions.
Control your emotions and stay invested. Now coming to your question about financial literacy versus financial freedom, right? So financial freedom is basically a point of time in your life where you don't have to work for money. Money is working for you.
Exactly.
So, for example, I have a very close friend, I won't name him. He has about 14-15 apartments in Pune, which he started investing in real estate at the age of 21. And today he's about 46 years of age. And today if he has 14 apartments, there is so much rent coming from those 14 apartments that he doesn't have to work for money. Today Mukesh Ambani doesn't have to work for money. There is money created for so many generations, but still you work for passion and
you work for a lot more things.
Yeah,
People like them are working for the nation.
Yeah.
Right? Lakhs and lakhs of people are employed.
So financial literacy, if you are not financially literate, there are very less chances that you will achieve financial freedom.
100%. Let's go back, because you are a managing director of Moneywise.
Yeah.
So what made you think of starting Moneywise?
So sometimes what I used to feel that when I am doing financial planning and wealth management for a client, am I giving true justice to that client? Because that thing should not come in your mind कि आप किसी को कुछ चिपका रहे हैं. वो वैसे करके long term वो client एक तो रहा, that client won't be your long term client first of all, because somewhere you feel at the back of your mind that you have not done justice, just trying to meet some target. So that was the first thought that came to my mind. Second thought was, you will get more freedom as an independent financial advisor. I have many different options which I can give to my clients for investment. We also deal in overseas properties, which I don't think in otherwise any typical NBFC or a bank could ever offer. So so especially for people who are risk savvy, or they can take higher risk, we have other options also which we can offer. So that was the thought process. Also the thought process was a personal thought process that compared to what I was logging for in my day-to-day job as an employee, if I put in the same efforts, then obviously the income could be much higher.
After talking to you and multiple other financial experts like you, right? My personal experience has been like, you make a relation with the person and not with the brand.
True.
Right? And if I want to compare this with any other scenario, I will compare it with like my family doctor. I'm connected to my family doctor for everything, right? No matter what happens, we talk to them first or him first, and then he or she connects me to the right hospital for the treatment or for diagnostic care center, whatever, depending upon the issue. Similar thing is with the finance. That's what I feel, because finance, after your health, what's most important for you is wealth.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
And how we have to balance both. So that's where that personal touch comes in. Working with a brand will give you a great experience, right? but working with an financial advisory individual or a company will give you a very different kind of experience, because they are there to handhold you for a long time. A private financial wealth advisor will stay with you if things go well for generations.
Well said.
Right.
Absolutely correct. So
It's very close to everybody's heart, right? And it's a hard-earned money. So how do we invest it wisely? कि भाई unnecessary commission तो नहीं जा रहा है ना मेरा, मुझे बलि का बकरा तो नहीं ना बनाया जा रहा है. Am I really going to get some money? Typically this time, Jan to March, we have seen lot of people invest into various funds, ULIPs, right? They lock in for 3 years tax. लोगों को पता ही नहीं है, and this is because of literacy, unawareness. Even from good high-tech industry, people who are like postgrads also do this mistake. कि herd mentality का आना, लोग invest करो तो आप मुझे भी invest करना है.
Yeah, true.
Right, and that's when all the NAVs are high. And then you put in the fund in the tax saving scheme. Do you really need a tax saving scheme first of all? Are you in that bracket? Are you really going to benefit out of it? पता तो है नहीं, डाल दिया पैसा, अब 3 साल के लिए अटक गया. The NAV is not rising. Rather work with someone expert who can guide you to achieve that goal. It's better to earn better, pay taxes on that, and still take home a good amount of money. And there are options available which people like you can recommend.
So 2 points I would like to add. First of all, as you rightly mentioned about the advantage of an independent financial advisor, and again nothing against any bank, because banks are doing their job in the right manner, is we have, as an independent financial advisor, we go generations to generation. So we have, for example, at our office also, we have so many clients whose next generation is investing through us. So the client who is with me since past 20 years now, his son, daughter have started investing. That is what is happening. Now coming to Jan, Feb, March, is we, instead of trying to achieve targets by doing kind of selling, cross-selling and upselling in last quarter, we can do proper planning, so that instead of having rush mode and doing ATC, completing ATC is anyways nowadays for the affluent families, ATC is a peanuts kind of, right?
Yeah.
So because it's 1.5 lakh is not much. So we are doing proper planning right from the entire year. So instead of doing a one-shot investment, depending on the level, you can do a SIP throughout the year. If you want to do a cover ATC section, so that can be done.
Got it. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your book, Investment Wisdom: Demystifying Asset Classes. What inspired you to write the book, and what message do you want to convey?
So this is my book, Demystifying Asset Classes. It was published in July 2021, and I started my wealth advisory practice or my professional practice when I completed my CFP, Certified Financial Planner, which is a US certification in September 2010. And I left my banking job around same time, and I started my financial practice as a wealth manager. And during then I also started teaching. So till 2018 I was teaching at 6 MBA institutes, and the subject that I used to teach was SAPM, Security Analysis Portfolio Management.
Okay.
It is one commonly known subject in PGDM and MBA, second year MBA, second year PGDM. Also, I used to teach financial planning, wealth management. So these two subjects, more or less the same content, same syllabus I used to teach, and 5-6 books were the recommended books that students had to refer to. So students used to come to me. I've taught more than 7,000 students till now, till date.
Congratulations.
And teaching is something which I really love from the bottom of my heart, because you are passing on good knowledge to the next generation. Out of every batch of, let's say, even if a class is of 60 students, about 10% stay in touch with you. So you build good relations also. Students who really liked or appreciated your teaching, so they stay in touch with you for next several years to come. So when I was, so the idea behind writing that book was, first of all, I got time during the pandemic. So the pandemic, once it started, outbreak took place in March 2020. After that, everyone was at home. So I got time, and then that thought came that students were telling me, why don't you write a book in easy to understand language? Now, for every profession, if it is made difficult, then people generate more fees.
Exactly.
Be it taxation, or be it wealth management, or be it a medical line. Now here for me, I wanted to write in very easy to understand language, and my son, who is as of now 13 years of age, he has also read my book 2 years back.
You understand?
And so when that was my, you could say, I was very happy when he said that I have read your book, Dad, and I understand whatever he did not understand. He asked me. So my objective behind writing this book was to spread financial literacy across India and to write in such simple English that even a 10th standard student could understand.
That's really wonderful. This is a topic which should be taught in schools as well, financial literacy, right? Maths we all have, right? We have algebra, geometry, trigonometry, but more on that's why I said my daughter took, after her 10th standard, she intentionally took, while taking science, she took accounts as well to understand, right, how finances work. Because unless and until you understand your money, right, you can't control that, and you have to control to grow it better, right? Next question, given the current economic climate, we saw a wonderful bull run for the last 2-3 years. After this September rate cut in the US, Fed rate cut in the US, right, market has been falling. So what asset classes do you believe will play a very crucial role in investment?
What is particularly taking place is post pandemic, means especially after we had a crazy fall from Feb 2020 to May 2020. Those who invested in May 2020 have multiplied their wealth several times, because Sensex, I remember, it had come down to that time to 27,000 level from 40 plus, and from 27 we saw Sensex going to 86,000 level. So even any Tom, Dick and Harry stock also would have multiplied 3 times in this last 5 years. And this September particularly since September 2020, after the rate cut took place from Federal Reserve, which was a steep rate cut of
50 basis points.
50 basis points was a steep rate cut. And again, what Modi ji did for India, which is really worth appreciating, Make in India movement.
Absolutely.
And especially support to the MSME sector, support to Indian businessmen in terms of loans and facilitation of money, facilitation of credit, and many good things which have happened. So during this patch, we have seen particularly last 5 years, we have seen a lot of growth in manufacturing industry. So Make in India movement, I believe to a large extent, Donald Trump is trying to replicate Make in India and Make in US.
Yeah.
Instead
exactly.
of importing things from China or India or any other service, be it goods or services, you have those things in the US. So he's trying to boost the US economy and boost US employment.
Every national leader will try to do in the best interest of the country.
Yes.
And world economies will try to adjust them, right? We all know the impact, what it would be, right? But again, India's dependency on the world is still a lot. The way China's dependency is there everywhere, no nation can ignore India now, because we have secured that kind of a spot where we are able to provide a lot of stuff. Yesterday I was reading some document around the gross value added, the estimates around it, right? I was happy to see India as an agricultural country, we have almost doubled the percentage number from 1.6 or 1.8, we have gone to like 3.8% increase year on year in the gross value added for agriculture sector. Our manufacturing sector has reduced a little bit, but agriculture has went well. So it needs more investment from the government side, and I think in the last budget, government has did the great job of giving a good tax benefit so that people can bring the money back into the economy, which will pump in more liquidity, right? Automatically the FIIs which have booked profit and went back will come in again and give a boost to the economy.
Yes.
Right.
But just to add to what you said, Sushant ji, we have 2-3 important points. First of all, we are having the youngest population in the world, so that is our biggest USP.
Biggest USP.
Second, very big USP we have is 70%. We are a domestic consumption economy, so we are 70% of the things which get produced in India are consumed in India.
Absolutely.
So that is a big percentage, 70%. Unlike US, which is depending, it could be a reverse kind of percentage where 70-80% they are depending on things coming from abroad, from overseas, from other countries, which they are consuming. We are having 70% consumed in India itself.
Absolutely.
And in terms of GDP, we are the fastest growing GDP. So we have 6.6% is the GDP prediction for 2025. 2026 is 6.8%. So it's a large percentage. Coming to the question of correction, yes, first of all, the market was overheated. Last quarter, that is ending October, November, December 2024, the net profit, the sales rose by about 8% and net profit rose by about 6%. So which is lower than at least 12% net profit expectation.
The Nifty 50, that's
Nifty
what we were
50.
talking
So
about. The Nifty 50, if you look at the overall Nifty 50 range, on screener we saw there, the top line, the bottom line have reduced, right? That's why the dollar has went out, because the dollar has got stronger. Dollar is getting good backing out there. So at this stage, the money is out. But if all these things happen, which government has taken the great initiatives, if the liquidity starts coming into the market, manufacturing kicks up, services kicks up, right? The more money is certainly going to flow. But how long will people stay out of India?
Indians are also very smart and intelligent. They are obviously so intelligent. The new RBI governor, Sanjay Malhotra, so he has reduced the repo rate by 0.25%.
Yes.
This is the first rate cut in 5 years. So
That's
this is
a
also
wonderful
one
thing.
step towards making credit cheaper, because
Exactly.
if today, because I sell properties abroad in other countries, particularly in Thailand, we have been selling apartments since 2014.
I have few questions for that as well. My next one is for that.
Rate of interest there is 3%.
Right.
Today we are having a housing loan is about 8.5 to 9%. As of today also, if you look at the housing sector, it's a dream for so many lakhs of Indians to have their own house.
Exactly.
So especially the lower middle class, people aspire to have own houses.
So do you suggest, my next question, okay?
Yeah.
I'll ask you thereafter, you finish this, I'll ask you, do you recommend people buying home in Thailand instead of India?
Thailand, yes, because Bangkok, for example, has last 2024 calendar year had 3.24 crore tourists, which was highest visited tourist city in the world. Then we had directly Istanbul, which was 2.5 crore. So 3.2 crore, and people are coming typically to Bangkok, Phuket, Chiang Mai, Koh Samui, Pattaya. Pattaya is about 1.5 hours where we sell apartments. We sell apartments in Pattaya. The rental yield is worst case 6%, which is about twice
Here it's
of
2%.
Yeah, 2%
Sometimes less.
after property tax.
After property tax,
you are
it's
left with 2% in hand.
Yes.
There you are getting 6%, which is about 3 times. And capital appreciation is also taking place, because in January 2025, the new Prime Minister, she also happens to be the youngest Prime Minister in the world. She has introduced, casinos have been granted license. So
that's wonderful. So it will bring more liquidity and business to the local economy there. Okay. So next question is more towards real estate, because as I said, you're into finance, you're into real estate, and you're into hospitality. So real estate as a wealth building tool. So what advice would you give to the first time real estate investors, especially those who are looking for long-term financial security?
My personal advice as far as India goes is to avoid tier 1, tier 2 cities. If you have whatever income a young couple is earning, 80% will get absorbed in EMI, in your housing loan.
Very
EMI.
rightly said.
So what means you would be hardly left with something out of it, and then that money cannot be put in the stock market. Right now, in this patch of 2020 to 2030, economists across the world are talking about this is the golden patch for India, these 10 years. And although a correction is in the offing or already taking place right now, but in the long term, India is obviously world leader in going to generate the highest returns in the stock market in the next few years. There was a time when people used to talk, few people talked that Sensex might touch 1 lakh. People used to say, are you mad? From where do you see Sensex going to 1 lakh? We have touched 86,000 and then we have corrected.
That's not a distance.
So it's eventually going to go to 1 lakh also. And as of now, this golden patch of ours for our country, India shining, we are going to see phenomenal growth in the stock market.
इंडियन मार्केट को ऊपर ही जाना है और इकोनॉमी को भी ऊपर ही जाना है, राइट? देयर इज नो अदर वे अराउंड. बॉल एक टप्पा लेके ऊपर जाएगा, एक टप्पा लेके ऊपर जाएगा. इट इज गोइंग टू क्लाइंब अप, राइट? एंड वी आर ऑन द राइट वे.
Especially the young youth, what they are thinking is better to avoid purchasing a car. You have Ola, Uber, and better to avoid purchasing a house because the rented
very
house,
important,
the
very
rental
important.
yield is not more than 3%.
Yes.
So you can buy a lavish apartment and pay hardly any small rent, and that money, instead of that, you put in the stock market SIP, or there are 5,000 plus mutual fund schemes. You put in really good mutual fund schemes. Your money will grow 15 to 20%.
Sandeep ji, exactly the same thing I have been telling to a lot of my employees who are on a higher side of a pay scale, right? People buy their first dream home. चलो ठीक है, पहला घर ले लिया. People buy their second home. Buying a second home, right, for a double income, no kids, newly wed people.
Yeah.
Do you really need that?
Not required.
Right? एक घर ले लिया सपना का, वो अपने हो जाएगा, right? If you can work out on a rental basis, nothing like it, right? And as you said, like tier 2 and tier 3 cities में थोड़ी land लो, अपना बंगला बांधो. All those things are possible still, right? And live a little frugal. Instead of buying a car, you can always have Ola and Uber. Those facilities are out there for everybody. और कहीं पे भी और कभी भी मिलता है.
Metro also is there now.
Metro is going to boost a lot of change in not just Pune but everywhere. Wherever we are traveling, the new cities which are upcoming. Mumbai, it's going to bring a drastic change. Nagpur, it has already brought. Pune is changing. We are seeing the impact, right? Coming back to the real estate. So how does investing in international properties compare to domestic real estate in terms of risk and reward? So risk reward ratio में क्या फर्क है? Because in India अपने को पता है कि भाई मैं इंडियन हूँ, मैं यहाँ का हूँ, ज़मीन मेरे नाम पे पेपर्स हैं, right? I'll have a fear about, not me, but in general people will have fear. अरे थाईलैंड में प्रॉपर्टी लेना, दुबई में प्रॉपर्टी लेना, how is that going to, मतलब वो mental peace होगा? Will that be a freehold? Will that be a long lease? What kind of properties these are?
Yeah, I'm sorry to. First, I'll answer the previous question about the Indian real estate. It is more of a psychological thing which is happening. If today, let's say eligible batch. I'll come to the second question about Thailand. As of today, if a young guy is there about to get married or seeking a suitable match at the age of, let's say, 27, 28, first question from the girl's side is going to come: does the boy have his own house? Apart from, let's say, parents' house is a different thing. Does he have his own house? At least one house. So that it's a psychological thing that you should at least have one house of your own. Otherwise, a eligible bachelor ही नहीं कहे जाते.
Is it necessary?
Let's think about it. Is it necessary? It's a psychological thing.
So this has come recently in the last 20-25 years.
Yeah.
Ads are also we are seeing on the TV that father is telling the son, okay, तू अलग रहे, right? Look back when we were 20 years back, right?
Yeah.
What was the beauty and impact of being a joint family?
Yeah.
Right? मुझे बच्चों को पेरेंट्स मेरे है अच्छे संभालने के लिए, आई एम नॉट वरीड अबाउट देम. जाओ कहीं पे भी आ सकते हो, योर पेरेंट्स को अपना टाइम दे सकते हो, पेरेंट्स को बच्चों के साथ जो संस्कार मिलेंगे, राइट? माई पेरेंट्स, बोथ पेरेंट्स वर वर्किंग एंड आई हैड अ ग्रेट इम्पैक्ट ऑफ माई ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स अपॉन मी. आई स्पेंट ग्रेट क्वालिटी टाइम विद देम. आई स्टिल रिमेंबर एंड नर्चर दोज हैप्पी डेज. मुझे झूला झूला के मुझे मस्त खाना खिलाया जाता था, राइट? सो दैट इज रियली मिसिंग हियर, राइट?
सो obviously grandparents, their retirement patch of life, they can really cherish those days when they are with grandchildren.
Absolutely.
Which is slowly we are moving towards nuclear families, so that is what is not happening. So the psychologically घर लेना ही है, वो compulsion है किधर ना किधर. And actually there is the real reason is also, there is also one very good thing about owning real estate. Everything there are pros and cons.
Absolutely.
The pros to that is that आपका घर रहता है, एक सेंस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी रहता है, बिकॉज रेंटेड अपार्टमेंट आप बहुत सज धज के अच्छा करेंगे. टुडे द लैंड, टुमारो द लैंडलॉर्ड टेल्स यू टू लीव. सो दैट्स व्हाई पीपल से एटलीस्ट एक घर
खुद का होना चाहिए,
एंड ऑफिस भी खुद का हो, ओनरशिप.
एक जैसा अपना है, छोटा है लेकिन अपना है, राइट?
या
मल्टीपल, यू डाइवर्सिफाई.
ट्रू,
राइट? इफ यू वांट टू गेट इनटू रियल एस्टेट, शॉप्स है, फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट्स है, जैसा यू सेड थाईलैंड रियल एस्टेट इज गिविंग बेटर रिटर्न्स.
यस.
Tell us more about it.
Yeah, the Thailand actually
have some tea after trying India.
Sure. Thailand or any, for that matter, Dubai or any particular country which is giving a positive rental yield is a good investment. I'll explain the difference. Today in India, if you are going to get 2% rent after paying property tax and housing loan is let's say 9%. So we are in -7.
Exactly.
So 9% housing loan rate and 2% rent. So -7. Then we are only banking on capital appreciation. That capital appreciation at least 10% takes place. If that doesn't happen, then, or if it is a small, very meager kind of capital appreciation, 3 to 5%, then we are still in negative zone. But if you look at Thailand, for example, if capital appreciation is steadily taking place at least 10% per annum, and after the advent of casinos which are going to come up, we foresee that it could go to 15% per annum capital appreciation. And then you have rental yield, which is let's say worst case 6%. In good cases on Airbnb, Booking.com, even in a city like Goa, for example, there is supposed to be there is higher rental yield, 6-7% kind of, because the rentals are very higher during the peak season. So here through Airbnb, Booking.com, we are getting higher rental yields, and particularly families who are going or couples who are going to Pattaya are staying there for longer tenure.
I have
from
personally,
Europe,
my friends
Russia.
have been doing that. Yes.
So if a couple is going to stay there for 1 month, they will not stay for 1 month in a hotel room. It would be too costly. So they will take an apartment on rent for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So that's how the real estate is booming. And for a small city, if we are having 2 crore foreigners, 2 crore tourists who are coming for short-term stay or medium-term stay, then real estate is obviously in too much demand. So capital appreciation worst case 10, rental yield worst case 6, and currency appreciation. So Thai baht in 2007, in 1 rupee you were getting 1 Thai baht. Today we are paying almost 2 rupees 60 paisa to purchase 1 Thai baht. So currency appreciation is possible only in overseas properties. Example of Dubai, 2018, 18 rupees you had to pay for 1 AED. For 1 dirham. Now today you are almost paying close to 24 rupees.
24 rupees, yes.
For 1 dirham. So there also 6 rupees appreciation.
That is pegged, right? The Dubai dirham
US dollar.
It's pegged against the US dollar getting stronger, and that's what is creating the impact.
Thai baht is not pegged as
it's
such,
not pegged, yeah.
But it is.
Tourism is bringing a lot of reviving that economy a lot.
Yes, very much.
Right. Do you have any great message or good message for our local policymakers to improve tourism in India?
In India, the tourism could be
Scope
about.
तो बहुत है, किधर नहीं है?
Yeah.
Right. Within, let's say now the Kumbh Ka Mela is going on. That itself is a big internal tourism. But how to get dollars in tourism? For example, we are exporting $200 billion plus in software services. How can we grow tourism? Because कितना कुछ है, the longest seashore we have, right? From Gujarat, Maharashtra in the west to east, वहाँ पे Bay of Bengal का पूरा कलकत्ता तक, right?
True.
Mountains in the top, the Sahyadri ranges here, and what not do we have, right?
We are one of the rare countries which has everything to
Everything
offer.
to
We
it.
have lakes to offer, mountains to offer, sea to offer. We have good hospitality. The only factor which is missing in India, for which I have seen, because through foreigners who are wanting to come to India, is the safety part.
Yeah, very true.
There was a point of time in India where people used to fear getting looted the moment they landed in India, because taxi drivers could loot them. Today, at least that patch has gone, because there are government authorized taxis. Then there is Ola and Uber, so they know that what they are paying today. So that fear has gone. But in terms of women's safety, for example, which
That is
a
still a
worrying
concern.
factor.
Yeah, we travel internationally and we have seen that topic coming a lot.
Good thing is about the Swachh Bharat movement, which is a very big change which is taking place, is we are having now public toilets, which is improving at a large scale. However, from tourism perspective, they will have to take much more efforts to bring in tourism, because today the figure is not more than 1.5 crore tourists visiting India as a country from abroad. It's a very small figure. A country like Thailand, which is hardly very, very small country, less than the size of our state of Maharashtra, is getting tourism which is close to 4 crore.
Correct.
Yeah. So they will have to really put in hard work to bring in global tourism to India.
getting back to our financial discussion, okay? Financial planning for families. So, what is the planning advice you would give to families, especially those who are juggling education expenses, home loans, and car loans, and thereafter want to look forward to a retirement saving? So, what's the message you have for them?
What we are doing is we do financial planning using Excel. So we are not using it is customized for per client depending on. First, we look at how much saving is taking place in the family, because there are so many young couples who are having multiple credit cards and multiple loans. So it is saving itself is a big task. So what I have also started doing is for clients is, if there are too many loans, we cut down on 3-4 loans and bring down to one loan. Through especially if there are also people who
one loan with the lowest interest rate possible.
Lowest interest rate, and again keeping track of different EMIs
Absolutely.
is also very difficult. Then people miss out on EMIs, the CIBIL score gets damaged. All these things happen, and particularly because everyone wants to. People say that sab kuch hi means, first of all, there are so many expenses. After all these expenses, kuch na kuch to bachna chahiye, jisse a person will be able to save and invest. And if because there are too many expenses, the saving ratio is less than 30%, and that's the worrying factor. Many people we see 10 to 12% saving ratio. So saving hi kam hoga, to what kind of investment will happen? And then the only option for you is that you will struggle and retire very late. You'll have to continue working till 65, 70. The good thing about India, which I have noticed in last 20 plus years of my practice, is when stock market used to correct earlier, people used to literally run to stock SIPs. Now that is not happening. People are mature. They understand stock market. They understand long-term wealth creation. And we have Warren Buffett, for example, the king of stock market and the king of patience.
Absolutely.
So a person who is invested for 30, 40 years in stock and stayed invested, as long as these are quality stocks and quality mutual fund schemes, you can stay invested for long term. And you have to review. So we review our clients' portfolios once in a quarter. That's good enough. You need not review on a daily basis or a monthly basis.
वो कहते हैं ना कि buy when the market is in fear.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the key point.
True.
अब market उस zone में है. जब तक bullish चल रहा था, nobody was bothered about P क्या चल रहा है, what is the top line, what is the bottom line. Nobody was worried about it. The moment it started correcting, they started seeing the microeconomics of every stock.
True.
And that's what has made people think about withdrawing. But here patience is the key, right? Every time you have to systematically plan, never put all your cash. Put like 70%. हाँ, 70% डाला है उसका, अगर गिर गया market तो put in little more, और गिरने के chances है. So do both fundamental analysis, technical analysis. But ये सब करते करते always take a guidance from a financial expert, because they are like doctors to it. उनका रोज़मर्रा का वो काम होता है, right? And looking at your goals that you have defined, experts like Sandeep ji can guide you, can advise you, and customize plans for you, right? Where do you see in this entire wealth creation, right? How do you see DhanXpert? You know, we are building this platform, DhanXpert, where we want to democratize how financial advisory works in India. We were talking about few numbers, right? Pre-COVID, 4 crore Demat accounts. Today they are close to 18.5 crores, more than that. This year it will cross more. Again, one person might have more than one Demat account, so real numbers would be around 10-12 crores or something. So it's still not 10% of the population of India is not investing. What is the earning population of India? It's typically 40% of the people are earning population. True. Out of that 150 crores, 145 crores में से 40%, मतलब 60 करोड़ लोग कमा रहे हैं.
True.
निवेश कितने कर रहे हैं और समझदारी से निवेश कितने कर रहे हैं?
True.
Right? That is very important. आपने जो सबसे पहला पॉइंट बताया था कि only 27% are financially literate, वो एक बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. So you tell us, how do you see DhanXpert can help India grow? इन टर्म्स ऑफ मतलब आपके जैसे एक्सपर्ट्स सारे आएंगे धन एक्सपर्ट में और हमारे सारे रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स को हेल्प करेंगे. सो व्हाट हाउ डू यू थिंक दैट इज गोइंग टू इम्पैक्ट?
First of all, if we look at let's say 150 crore population, 60 crore are Indians are earning money. So anyone who is earning money requires guidance where to invest that money. Could be small money or big money. But if you look at the number of ARN holders, AMFI registration holders, that is people who sell mutual funds, the number is less than 3.5 lakh.
Exactly.
For 60 crore Indians require investment advice, and those who are selling mutual funds, and mutual funds according to me is one of actually the best product.
Yes,
because
risk
in
is
stocks
mitigated.
you can go wrong because there is no diversification. You are betting on few stocks, and if those stocks don't perform, then this is there. So as far as DhanXpert goes, which is a brilliant platform, what Zomato has done for restaurants, they're in a city like Pune, for example, if I am not wrong, there are not more than 3,000 investment consultants for a city having a 75-80 lakh population. Maybe outskirts also, Pune district could be a 1 crore. So for 1 crore we are having only 3,000 financial experts, or
the ratio is very less.
This is a full-time business, for full-time professional practice. Just like we are having chartered accountants, there are financial experts. So it's a brilliant work which had a very unique platform which you have built in for financial advisors to be there on board, and people can then decide with whom they would like to work. They would get choice to work with investment consultants, because obviously many of those 3,000 would definitely want to be on board with DhanXpert. And similar, this is just one city with 3,000 investment consultants. We are having across India lakhs of financial advisors. For them it's a great opportunity for them to showcase their talent and because all are qualified, first of all.
Correct.
These are people who have passed certain exams.
Absolutely.
They could have cleared, either they have cleared stock market exams or mutual fund exams, insurance exams. So they are, and then we have a large CFP community itself, certified financial planners.
Exactly. So the basic fundamental of DhanXpert is, number one is to onboard as many number of financial experts in various categories. There may be MFDs, independent financial advisors, RIAs, right? Other experts like chartered accountants, right? Then there are insurance experts. So we want to bring all of them on one platform so that they are available to the masses, right? And we are vetting them. सबसे पहले तो आपका phone verification, then is your Aadhaar verification, then it's your, if you are done the SEBI registration, registered exam pass, we are verifying your certificates, right? So we are verifying and vetting those things before we are onboarding you. And once you're onboarded, then you are visible there, right? So that then people can reach out to you for your expertise, right? So that's the whole purpose. And there is one more gap which we are trying to solve here is, in cities we talked about, Pune almost 1 crore in the PMRDA area and only 3,000 advisors. How will they cater, right? And if you go outside in the remote villages, right, there are still farmers and other small people who want to invest, but they do not have access to the advisory. Now with the DhanXpert app on every mobile in this country, they will have access. They can daily have a voice conversation or a video conversation with you, right? We have a wonderful feature in our product. For example, Sandeep ji, you have 500 clients, and some of them might be watching Zee Business or some other news channel on a daily morning basis, right? And they can continue to do so, but they would love watching you every morning for 5 or 10 minutes. Isn't that good?
True.
So you every morning coming there, let's say pre-market 9 in the morning, you're coming and talking about a very high level to all the people. You're coming live on DhanXpert, so all your followers on DhanXpert will see you, right? And they will watch you, and you are sharing some advice for them. Then for some elite class, you might schedule a different session. People with more than XYZ who are like crorepati, okay, they can join you at some other time in the day, and that one moment will give you access to all of your investor class. It's a daily connect with them. Rishta bana rahega, rishta juda rahega.
True.
Which is a missing part. आजकल सब क्या होता है, व्हाट्सएप पे चलता है. व्हाट्सएप पे एक लिमिट होता है, टेक्स्ट होता है, बट ये आपका अगर फिक्स टाइम होगा ऑन अ डेली बेसिस, इट मे बी मॉर्निंग, इट मे बी इवनिंग, whatever is convenient, the time that works for you and your client base, you can just come online and share things with them. You can manage the client's portfolio over there, right? They can rate and review you, right? और ये रिश्ता कैसा होता है ना, ये वन टाइम होता है. एक बार हुकअप हो गया और अगर एक दूसरे के साथ बॉन्ड अच्छा हो गया, then it's for lifetime and generations. True. He said, right? तो पहले तो accessibility. Our responsibility is to give this platform, you guys, a marketplace, all the financial experts and insurance expert marketplace, to reach pan India. और सारे लोगों से हम लोग यही अनुरोध करते हैं इंडिया के, प्लीज डाउनलोड DhanXpert यूजर्स ऐप एंड सर्च आउट फॉर बेटर एक्सपर्ट्स लाइक संदीप जी, एंड देन स्टार्ट सीकिंग एडवाइस. एडवाइस लेने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. पहले आप एक दूसरे को समझो. इफ यू स्टार्ट लाइकिंग थिंग्स, आपका पैसा आप ही के अकाउंट में होता है, आप कोई पैसा इनके अकाउंट में नहीं ट्रांसफर करते या हमारे अकाउंट में नहीं ट्रांसफर करते. It always remains with you. It's only the strategy and advice has been recommended by the experts, and that's what will help you grow and mature your wealth. ठीक है.
Go ahead. Actually, भगवान कृष्ण ने जो किया अर्जुन के लिए, he was guiding him. That is the role of the investment consultant.
Exactly.
Or financial expert.
Exactly. So, one last question, the bigger message, a holistic approach to financial well-being. So, beyond money, what does financial well-being truly mean, and how can individuals align their financial goal with personal and professional aspirations?
One big problem which I see for many people who retire, who have a lot of wealth also, who are retiring with a lot of wealth, maybe at the age of 55, 60, is they have hardly any hobbies. So you have to cultivate really good hobbies to spend your retirement patch of life. And there are people who are wanting to retire early also. So gone are the days that you want to retire by 60, 65. People want to retire by 45,
जीना है भाई, जीना 50. है. जब तक घुटनों में जान है तब तक कहीं जाके चढ़ के आना है, कुछ हाइक करके आना है.
I was in Goa recently, about a month back. I met a young couple. The boy was from Germany, the girl was from Italy, a young couple. And 1 year they have taken off for one full sabbatical, year. They sabbatical. Just want to cover a few select countries in that 1 year. Because बुढ़ापे में आप कितना आपका साथ देगा हेल्थ, एक क्वेश्चन मार्क है. Now coming to your question about financial well-being, is basically the most important thing about financial independence or financial freedom, or having achieved your financial goals, is you have quality time. सबसे बड़ी चीज आज नहीं है किसी के पास है, वो टाइम नहीं है. People are having money or they are chasing money, but having less time for quality hobbies. And people have so many different things which people want to do in life. Some like there are people who like to travel, there are people who like to play particular sports, people who like networking, meeting people, socializing, people who like movies a lot.
Exactly. So many things.
Many things we can do.
Because वो एक हर्ड में हम चले जाते हैं. We get into education. हमारे education complete करके हम जॉब करना शुरू करते हैं. जॉब करते करते या बिजनेस करते करते we cross our 40s और बहुत सारी चीज़ें करनी रह जाती है. So optimally save for your expenses and invest wisely so that you can keep on enjoying your wealth till your retirement and post your retirement as well.
One very, very important thing is when to retire is a question. Very big.
Yeah.
We do that through financial planning. Through Excel, you can actually calculate, if particularly it is easier to calculate for salaried people, because there is definite fixed income. You are aware of this is the income and how much the income will grow. It Correct. Could go the salary could increase 5% a year, it could increase 10% a year. So you are aware of the income which is coming, and the expenses also you can forecast for next 15-20 years. So people come to us, and that based on the existing once we study their existing income, expenses, their lifestyle, because there are people who have less costly lifestyle also, then they can retire early also. Means it depends totally based on all this study. So if we can tell someone that at this age, at 45, you are able to retire because you are already earning very good income, then that different, and this planning will help them retire at 45, and they can enjoy life for a foreseeable future from 45 to 80, if we do planning, it's good life they are going to enjoy.
Correct. So for the youngsters, start investing as soon as possible. Okay, the earlier you invest, you will get the most out of it because of the compounding, right? For the middle-aged people, right, if you are already consulting a financial planner, you are doing the best thing. If you are not, please download DhanXpert and find the best advisor for yourself. And people who are like senior citizens, review your portfolio with one of the best available financial planners and see how it is, right? Wonderful discussion. मैंने कहा last question, but you are not just a financial planner. You have made people wealthy. You yourself are an entrepreneur. So entrepreneurs के लिए क्या message है? Because बहुत सारे लोगों के मन में entrepreneurship के बारे में ना छुपी हुई होती है. जॉब करते रहते हैं, but aspiring होते हैं. So what is the message from you towards the aspiring entrepreneurs of India?
For becoming an entrepreneur, you really have to be hardworking. Because in a job, for example, I come from the banking industry, so I work for 9 years in banks, and that feeling has never come in my mind ki in a bank as such there are every alternate Saturday is a holiday. Apart from that कोई जैसे कुछ occasion आ जाता है तो छुट्टियाँ और भी है, बहुत सारी छुट्टियाँ हैं as such. So the plus side to a salaried job is you have a lot of time which you can give for your family. So it's a very quality lifestyle you can give compared to an entrepreneur, where the entrepreneur cannot switch off his mobile phone on a Sunday also. There could be work. There is continuous work, and two
entrepreneurs sitting and talking.
Yeah. So it is a much more hectic lifestyle, and particularly for professionals, the negative part about entrepreneurship is, I'll come to positive also. The negative part of entrepreneurship for entrepreneurs, professionals like a doctor, if your surgeon is there, he himself has to go and do the surgery. Especially for us also, I am having about 5 employees of my wealth management practice, but there are so many clients who want to speak with me only.
Exactly.
They are trained, they have knowledge, they can tackle the questions which the clients are going to ask, but that comfort or that contentment, satisfaction will come only when the client speaks with me. So this kind of thing is a worrying thing. The positive side to entrepreneurship is that you are your own boss.
Correct.
So you are not reporting to anyone. So you can adjust your schedule, which day you want to take holiday, for any particular occasion you decide to take holiday. That is a positive side to it. And I am of the personal opinion that as an entrepreneur, definitely you can earn much higher than a salaried job. Because for a salaried job, obviously Sushant ji, you must have read this Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Absolutely.
Or Cash Flow Quadrant.
Absolutely.
So then here what is happening, when people are working for you, you are having more number of man hours working for you.
Absolutely.
And that's how a person eventually grows to be a richer person, because he gets work done from others. So it is other people's time which is gaining, which you are getting for your own business, due to which you are earning obviously higher.
Exactly. So entrepreneurship is a dual-edged sword, right? There are ups and downs both. It will, if you put in right efforts, a lot of hard work is required. Your family support is required, because front end में आप काम करते हो, but back end में your family is extremely, the woman at your home, the kids at your home, right? They are also a passive supporter to this. And entrepreneurship will take you long way in terms of wealth creation. One very important thing that we were discussing, and I think if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, you should learn from this, is the gap in the market is a big one, right? 60 crore Indians are earning, और उनको सपोर्ट करने के लिए एडवाइजर्स अगर देखें तो बहुत कम है, लाखों में है, राइट? एंड सो रेशियो जो है वो बहुत बड़ा है. If you can take some courses through SEBI, through AMFI, and get appropriate qualifications done, you can become a financial advisor, you can become a financial planner, you can become an insurance expert, and start doing your own business. And that will not stop from any geographical location, because at DhanXpert we are bringing all the retail investors of India to you. Right. With that said, Sandeep ji,
One
thank
last
you.
point I would
Tell
like
me.
to add, Sushant ji, is the one endeavor which we have taken recently is financial literacy for schools.
That's very nice.
So 30 hours of content is there, and from 5th standard to 10th standard.
That's wonderful.
So in 6 years, about 180 hours of quality content, and they will be well versed with financial planning, wealth management, loans, scams, what is stock market, all these things we are training. So that, and this endeavor we have taken through an academy called FPA, Financial Planning Academy, with whom I am associated since a long time. So hopefully, if we can get in financial literacy right at school level, by the time the kids have completed their 10th, they will be pretty well versed with the
Absolutely.
And money, as you rightly mentioned, was never taught in school.
Yeah.
Nor was it taught in colleges. In colleges, especially the MBA finance students, in second year of MBA finance, they have wealth management as a subject. So
Rather, they should be taught at the basic school. What I learned is, I think, is more from my mother than from the outside world. Right? छोटी चीजें जो बचत करना होता है ना, that saving I learned from my mother at that tender age level. Right? वो पोस्ट ऑफिस में जाके 100 रुपया जमा करना, right? वो कुछ फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट करना, some policies में इन्वेस्ट करना, and help us make that piggy bank and ensure that we are dropping money in that on a daily basis, so that we have our outcome on a monthly basis or a yearly basis. And it's typically yearly basis, because वो पैसा जो जमा किया है एक साल, वो बर्थडे पे गिफ्ट लेने के लिए है, right? आपके कपड़े आएंगे इसमें से. So that was a regular
about your
investment.
story and the very fact that you started working at the age of 16, which is a very, very rare thing.
So thank you, Dr. Sandeep Sahasrabudhe. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
And I hope people you get some good insights from our discussion. Please subscribe to our channel and look forward to have weekly great personalities coming into the DhanXpert studio. Thank you so much.